Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's me, it's Jedlo. This is not a movie review. Well, I do have a movie with me, and it's basically something I want to talk about today, but this is not a movie review by any means. What I wanted to talk to you guys about today is, well, this is just voicing my opinion about something. Now, as many of you know, well, the topic I'm about to talk to you today, which I'm sure, as you can see in the title bar up there, is, well, actually, I'm just going to call this my thoughts and opinions on something, or my thoughts and opinion on something, or whatever, as you can see in the title bar up there. My thoughts and opinions is a certain reboot that's coming out. They're working on it. It's not out yet, but they're working on it. That I know of, and I know it's caused a lot of uproar and everything. And the reboot I'm talking about is this. That's right. I'm talking today about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles reboot that Michael Bay just happens to be a part of. I don't know why. He just is. Now, for those of you that don't know, I believe he's just producing the movie. He's not directing it. So, but when I first heard that he was attached to the movie, I thought, Bay, please, you destroyed my Transformers. My Transformers will never be the same to me again. Why are you starting with the Turtles? Now, don't get me wrong. I thought some of the things about the Transformers movies were cool, like the way they looked. A lot of people didn't like the way they looked. I thought it was. I didn't mind that all too much. It made them look more alienish. But it's just certain things they did, like, for example, why when they're coming down from Cybertron, obviously the Decepticons were there first. Now let me ask you this: why is it that the Decepticons have to come down to Earth, being burnt up in the atmosphere, in our atmosphere, coming to Earth, and yet they die from our gunshots? Remember that one soldier? He was pumping grenades into Blackout's chest. Blackout died. The first one. Remember that? Which I never really understood. And then Transformers 2, that was actually supposed to be Grindor. A lot of people say it's Blackout. A lot of people, I prefer to think of it as being Grindor. But I wish, again, mention that, and that was in the second movie, Revenge of the Fallen. I wish it would have made mention of that, saying, you know, having Megatron, instead of screaming, Decepticons, when he's fighting Optimus in the forest, what he should have said was, you know, Starscream, Grindor, and would have made more sense. People say, oh, okay, it's not the same guy, it's different. I mean, just, you know, things here and there, and Revenge of the Fallen was, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know about that movie, and not so sure about the third one either. The third one was better than the second one. I at least see that. And another thing I wanted to mention is, but yeah, as you can see what I'm saying. So, and the fact that Bay is going to do another Transformers movie, because I heard they're rebooting it again. That's already in talks, but I think where they're going is more of a G1 style movie this time around. I hope. Which leads me to bring this into play, the reboot of this. Now, some of you are aware that Michael Bay, most of you are aware Michael Bay is attached to this. He is not directing this by any chance. By any chance. He's not directing this at all whatsoever, by any chance. Why did I say that? I don't know. Anyway, yeah, so he's not directing this at all. Can't remember who the guy I can't remember where I heard the guy's name who's going to be directing this. But the whole thing about the aliens thing, well, I'm going to give you my thoughts and opinions. If he really does this, that the turtles are from an alien planet and come down to Earth, yeah, that's pretty much going to put a big to Michael Bay. That's what I'll have to say. I'll just have to say, you, Michael Bay, you. And that's basically all it is. But, however, this could work another way. If you remember the original 3 movies, this is the first one. I do have the other 2. I just don't have them with me right now. But I do have the other 2 movies. And a lot of people were upset that they didn't go the route with, they were very upset with, more of the hardcore fans, I should say, are more upset that, where's Krang? Where's the Technodrome? And I remember thinking that myself as a kid. Where's Krang? I mean, and then you had the whole copyright problem in they couldn't get the rights to Bebop and Rocksteady, so they wound up being Toka and Razar instead. That's another thing about Razar, is that I think April calls him Razar, and Shredder called him Razar. I know Leonardo called him Razar once. Yeah, did he? Yeah, Leonardo calls him Razar. April O'Neil was the only one who calls him Razar. So Razar, Razar, what have you. Whatever. Tomato, tomato. But yeah, there was that whole thing. So it got me thinking, maybe they're going to follow the cartoon more closely this time. Because the ooze I've been doing research, and the ooze came from the TGRI aliens, which I believe I heard in one video that's what Professor Jordan Perry was supposed to be, and in the second movie. And I heard that originally they were supposed to have like the neutrinos in there, and I think originally Krang was supposed to be in there too, I believe, I'm not sure, but I do know that the TGRI aliens and Jordan Perry was supposed to be TGRI alien. The neutrinos were originally supposed to be in the second one, and I believe Krang was supposed to be in the second one too. Also Bebop and Rocksteady, of course. But, of course, things happen, things get cut, things get changed, and we got what we got. If you saw Ninja Turtles 2 Secret of the Ooze, you saw what we got. And, yeah. And I know Donatello made the reference, there's got to be more to it. I don't believe him. And which was an interesting question, interesting concept, that there's more to it. But again, if they would have gone the original route, then it would have made more sense. Plus, would have made a lot, I can't talk today. I'm sure it would have made a lot more better and interesting Turtles 3. Which I'm sure they could have done. If Turtles 3 would have been different, then I'm sure there could have been a Turtles 4, and Turtles 5, and just as long as they keep following the storyline of the cartoon and of course the comics, because then some of the comics did follow the cartoon. Not all of them, I don't think, but some of them did. Anyway, so that's basically what happened, and our story is all got changed into the ooze being a mixture of toxic waste and it being disposed improperly. So I'm thinking, what if they're going back and doing it the other way this time, with Krang, with the TGRI aliens, with the neutrinos. Neutrinos might not be in the first movie, it might be in like a sequel or something, but what if? What if the whole alien, it says they spawned from an alien race, yada yada yada, but technically the ooze is alien. The turtles aren't alien, but the ooze is. So, what my question is I'd like to hear from, I'm sure they won't announce this, but what I'd like to know is Krang being involved in this in the reboot? Are they bringing Krang into it with Shredder? Shredder's going to be there whatsoever, so, but that's the thing. Is Krang going to be a part of this? It's an interesting concept, because if he is, then they're obviously going to follow the storyline from the cartoons, which is what everyone wanted in the first place. So that's what made the Turtles so popular. I mean, the older kids at that time kind of read the comic books, I'm sure. I mean, the Turtles, came out in May of 1984, May of 84. So, in a way, it's like, you know, not too many kids were reading comic books at that time. Maybe the older kids, like the teenagers. But Turtles really took off when they made them into the cartoon in 87. And then, of course, you had the first movie in 1990, which is, you know, this. And that's always what I've been thinking, because I've been thinking about that a lot lately. Because what if they're gonna follow the cartoon this time, the original cartoon? I mean, it's a possibility. I'm not saying Michael Bay. I'm not saying I trust Michael Bay completely, because I know in the past he's been known to, you know, fuck up. I mean, again, look at the Transformers movies, and if you're a Transformers fan, you've seen them, then you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, but yeah, that's what I'm curious on knowing. I mean, what do you guys think? Leave me comments. Leave me a video response if you want. Let me know your opinion. What do you think? Is this going to follow? Are the Turtles going to come from the fucking outer space and do the whole Spock thing, like, we come in peace, bullshit? Or do you think it's going to involve Krang and the TGI aliens and neutrinos and following the 80s cartoon this time? I mean, what do you think? Do you think them following the cartoon, can't talk today. Do you think them even following the 80s cartoon is a possibility? I think it is. It's possible. But if not, then the whole thing's just going to be horrible, I'm sure. Anyway, again, let me know your thoughts and opinions. Comment, rate, and subscribe. And I will see you guys later. Peace.